And with me now is political analyst Lori Williams. Lori, thank you for being here today.
Great to be with you, Renee.
What are your thoughts as we reach the final weekend of the federal campaign?
Well, it's certainly looking intense. Lots of energy being poured into this. That ground game is getting very strong. But what I'm looking at is where the leaders are going and what they're saying. So when I hear what Mr. Blanchet is saying in Quebec, that suggests he's pushing against some headwinds. He knows that Quebecers see the United States as a bigger threat than the rest of Canada to their sovereignty, and he's trying to push back against that. And we're also seeing where the leaders are going. Some are going to try to gain seats. Some are going to try to protect seats, like Jagmeet Singh and apparently Pierre Poilievre. So it looks like it is going to be a very, very, very tough race for a number of the leaders. And it's going to come down to some really close ridings that can't be predicted by the polls at this stage of the game.
Right, and those leaders fanning out to some key ridings to shore up support. What ridings will you be keeping an eye on come Monday?
I think just generally, I'm going to be looking at seats that might be won by the Liberals from the Bloc in Quebec. That'll probably be an early indicator, maybe even looking at the Maritimes. If the Liberals sweep there, that certainly will be a good sign for them, and bad for the NDP if that's the case. But it's going to come down, I think, to BC and some of those really tight, hotly contested ridings where there are internal controversies about parachuting in candidates and the outgoing Conservative incumbent endorsing an independent that wasn't allowed to run for the party, for the Conservative Party. That's where I think things are going to get very interesting. So this may well be one of those elections where we're waiting until all of those final results in BC come in before we know who the winner is and whether it's a majority or minority government.
The election is just 2 days away. How much is riding on these 2 days?
That's a difficult thing. I don't know that the public campaign is going to make as much difference at this stage of the game anymore. I think it's going to come down to that ground game, reaching out and trying to motivate voters to come out and actually cast their ballot in favor of the party that you represent. And in that respect, the two leading parties have really strong ground games. We're seeing that in some of the events that they're holding and so forth. But it's when those really close ridings, it comes down to that ground game. When you hear about resources being moved to seats that formerly were thought to be safe, that's when you're going to sort of get a better sense of where the momentum is going.
All right, that is our time, Lori. Thank you very much for being here with us today. That is Lori Williams, political analyst.